I cried and cried and cried and cried and I cried. It all came crumbling down, the loss of my parents, the secrets that they had been keeping from me, the dark road that it had taken me down. The fact that when I died, my friends and extended family would miss me, but get over it soon. And I was facing the trial of my life with a stranger. I wasn't ready for this. I rolled over and blearily opened my eyes. Through the smoke and the tears, I could vaguely see Sebastian fighting with the blue demon. It wasn't going well. Its 6 metallic appendages danced like a sewing needle around him. It avoided his rosary, but the sheer size and speed of the damn thing made the eventual outcome pretty fucking obvious. Why was Sebastian fighting so hard? It came to me quickly. He was distracting it from me. I suddenly felt a weight lift. Most of the demon's lick was still inside me. I could feel it, but I could feel some of it leaving too. The blue demon lifted one metal appendage to draw Sebastian's gaze, then quickly whipped a second one around his left side. It broadsided him, and didn't cut him, but it was quite successful in knocking him to the floor. I decided that whatever metaphorical weight it lifted from me wasn't moving fast enough on its own. I got to my feet, tears and snot flying freely from my face. The demon whipped a triumphant leg high up in the air, then dropped it like a missile, pointed edge headed for Sebastian's chest. Didn't even have time to squirm. I didn't look too deeply into the cause of my parents' deaths. Carbon monoxide poisoning was the official cause, I think. And after having the house inspected for the all clear, I stopped thinking about it. There was nothing to gain from knowing. We all walk around with a sense of immortality. We know we're going to die, in the same way that we know the sun is 39 million miles away and will consume our planet in another 5 million years. We accept it, but not really. When I lost my parents, it was the first time that I truly understood that I was going to die one day. Have you accepted that? Really? I bet you haven't. I thought that I did. I was wrong. Sebastian didn't have time to move, nor, it seemed, did the demon. Time was working against it. Or rather, time was not working for it at all. The leg remained frozen in place, its whole body stayed rigid. Except for its yellow eyes. They swiveled around the grotesque blue little girl's face, peering over the hideous tongue that had been stopped in mid-furl. Sebastian gasped for air, leered wide-eyed between the demon and me, then shimmied out from underneath the pincer. There was less than 2 inches of wiggle room. He tore his black shirt on the way out. I stood, chest heaving, in the middle of my flaming living room. The Elgin watch was in my left hand, crown pulled. Demon paused. Sebastian was slack-jawed as he climbed to his feet. Who are you? I'm a demon hunter. Like my parents were before me. Now step aside. The monster was powerless to move as I positioned myself under it. One leg was still raised above the ground, waiting to strike. I stood in the middle of the pentagram formed by the points of its remaining 5 legs. I pulled out the rosary and stared up at the beast. My head swam with anger and sadness. I leapt straight into the air and swung my beaded fist into its throat. It sailed, legs and all, up to the ceiling, then landed with a crash on its back. I couldn't even hear my own screaming over the roar of the flames. I pounced and got to work. I ripped its legs, one by one, from its quivering body. I beat, punched, cried, screamed, hit, and tore at the monster. Things got blurry. When all the legs were off, I picked them up and tried to break them. I cut my hands on the metal, dropped it, and cut my feet when it landed on the floor. I yelled, picked up the metal again, cut my hands again, and dropped it again. I cried. Something was wrong with my arms. They were discolored. The realization slowly crept up on me that the demon's blood was like acid, and every part of me that it had touched was burning painfully. I got so angry when I realized this, so incredibly enraged, I decided that I was going to rip its eyes out, acidic demon blood be damned, that I would make it suffer even if it reduced my hands to nothing but a fleshless collection of forgotten bone. Arms wrapped me from behind and pulled me back. Peter, you need to stop. It's killing you. I almost laughed at this. I'm killing it! How do you not see that? I struggled to break free. Peter, stop! This is how it's killing you! Look at yourself! I peered down at my arms and legs. They were torn and bloody. My arteries must have been within inches of the cuts and burns. He swiveled me around, tightly grasping my shoulders. Look at me, Peter. Look at me. The thing that hurt us, the things that make us sad, we can stop them from continuing to cause us pain. But those things never go away. They don't disappear when we heal from them. They continue to exist. We can't stop that. I have spent a lifetime trying to fight that truth. I turned my head to look at the broken and battered monster. It was stripped of all limbs, and the battered blue face now no longer looked human. But I swear I could see it smile. It looked right at me and smiled. Peter, Sebastian sighed. Please. Let this one go. I collapsed into his shoulder and started crying again. There simply wasn't time or space to recover. We walked into the adjacent dining room, which still had a variety of silverware spread out on the table, but thankfully featured no demons. Sebastian offered to go on alone, which really meant that he was offering to sacrifice his life. I declined. Look, Peter, you need to heal. You said that your parents might have some surprises hidden throughout the house. This is important. Do you have any idea where they might be? I shook my head glumly. I was in a depressive fog, but I honestly had no idea. I regretted having mentioned it at all. Think, Peter, is there any chance that they could have been hiding something from you? A hidden room, maybe? I snorted in derision. Hiding something? Yeah. Clearly they were hiding something pretty fucking big. If they had anything that could help us, they hid that too. Every memory was beginning to hurt. I missed them. But I was too pissed to have them around. And it now seemed entirely possible that they could have hidden something as significant as a room. Oh, shit, I breathed. I looked at the walls, I looked up at the ceiling, I looked back down at Sebastian. The spare bedroom upstairs. It faces the front yard and the backyard. Sebastian stared at me blankly. The house isn't built that way. It shouldn't look out onto both yards. He gave me a look of dawning realization. Have you seen out of both windows? I wheeled around to face the stairway. Only out the back, now that I think about it. My parents... I paused and swallowed hard. Never drew back the curtains on the front-facing wall. And you never asked about it? It seems that I was a rather oblivious child. I grabbed a carving knife from the pile of silverware on the table in case I had to jimmy the window open. Who knows, my parents had locked me up metaphysically, and maybe they would have ensured that was true in the physical world as well. I was discovering that, while painful, my wounds from the blue demon didn't stop me from moving forward. I wondered if that was intentional. We made it up the flaming staircase and into the first bedroom on the right with no incident. I burst through the door and advanced on the window curtains across the tiny room. They hung darkly still. I grabbed either side with my fists. It occurred to me that I didn't know what I wanted to find. Answers were the same as proof. Finding the truth meant finding the lies. I threw open the curtains, grabbed the sill and peered through. The window did not lead outdoors. It was the only room that wasn't on fire. I fumbled around for a light switch that worked and illuminated the space. It appeared to be some sort of a workshop. It had been ransacked. I ran around with a feeling of vertigo. No! 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 Who was here? I picked up scraps of things that had been left behind, empty bags with torn labels reading salt and sage, ripped pages of ancient books, inexplicable pieces of equipment that would have made sense to my physicist mother. All of the lies, none of the benefit, all of the loss, none of the gain. Exactly the kind of blow that I did not need right now. I saw something on the opposite wall and nearly ran to it. 2 unused brackets were mounted to the wall. A small plaque, the likes of which were used to label art at a museum, hung underneath. Varus-edged, blessed sword. Oh, shit! I looked over at Sebastian. There was a sword we could have used right in here! I punched the wall, lifted a forgotten piece of machinery and threw it across the room. God damn it! I bent down, ready to start crying again. Then I had an idea. Sebastian! I shot upward. Oh, Sebastian, my friend, look what we have here! I raised the carving knife that I had brought from downstairs to him. He eyed me suspiciously, but did not flinch. You're a priest! I almost smiled. He did not react. You can bless the knife. We'll make our own demon sword. We'll be unstoppable! Peter. No. This will be perfect. Haha! Ball's in my court now! Peter. I can't do that. I could feel my face growing darker. And why not, friend? He sighed. Because it's a weapon. Yeah, I said, stepping towards him. That's the point! I tapped my finger lightly on the knife's tip. Look, Peter, your cuts and burns weren't extremely deep. Let's find something to patch you up and then let's move along. I slammed the knife onto a nearby workbench. That's not what's important right now, Sebastian. You bless that sword, and we finish this for good. I slammed my hand on the table. Do it! He stared back with no movement whatsoever. It was like he didn't hear me at all. Peter, a blessing means something. It's the sharing of a spirit in good faith of the giver. I'm sorry. I won't bless something that's designed to hurt people. This is about more than life and death, both of which are inevitable. It's about faith of spirit, which is not. The room was free of flames, it's true, but I was beginning to see the first licks of red appearing in my periphery, curling their edges like they were smiling at me. Then get out. Go! I could feel the fire starting to burn hotter. I won't leave you here, Peter. That's a solemn vow. You already left me. Now get out of my house! I could feel the flames catching. I could feel their strength. Sebastian did not move. You will leave, or I will make you. My arms were strong like tree trunks. I could feel it. They could cause pain. I'd feel that too. Peter, it's the demon's lick. It's getting you. You have to fight it. Have you stopped to consider that this is actually what I'm choosing? That I'm telling you to leave and let me finish my business on my own. That I'm telling you to get out. I charged forward, determined to make this happen, to get my way, to stop being overlooked. I knocked the wind out of Sebastian when I hit him, and I lifted him off the ground. I ran for the window that faced the spare room and dove through it with my arm still wrapped around him. The landing then knocked the wind out of me, and we both lay there gasping. Peter, listen, here... The only way to get past it... You have to let it go. Don't fight it. He struggled to stand. The only way to get past... Remember... He couldn't get up past his hands and knees. I helped him there. I had recovered faster than he did, so I picked him up and I carried him out of the room and to the top of the stairs. They were engulfed in flames. I was going to exorcise this demon. Peter, please! He yelled, beginning to get some of his speech back. Please, to get past it, you have to let it go. Gladly, I said, tears flowing freely. I pushed him forward, sending him tumbling down the fiery stairs. Demon... released. I'm Pickle Rick! What am I doing with my life?